Hi guys, welcome to number 2 of our webinar discussing our teacher training course, which we'll be doing in 2023. We had a lot of detail in the first webinar, so we just kind of wanted to break down the webinars into 2 or 3 to go through because we did have quite a lot of questions. If you did miss it, we're not going to cover anything that we covered in the previous one in this video, but we will have a link to the previous video underneath this one, and you can request it if you need it, if you can't see it. And we also have the link for the application to apply to do the course. We did briefly mention, or we did mention in the last webinar, I'm just going to briefly mention it again, that there's certain qualifications that you will need for this program. It's not for everyone. You do need at least a minimum of 2 years of either fitness, something in the fitness profession, a wellness coach. It's for physiotherapists, nutritionists, and you do need specific qualifications with 2 years experience. And once you have that, we'll go through a process with you to just make sure that you have the full qualifications and the experience and skills that you'll need to move forward with this program. So before we go into this, I just want to say it's just going to be a few questions following on. If you're not too sure what we're talking about in this, do please make sure that you go on to the first webinar and just catch up and make sure that you know what we're talking about. So I'm here with Michael Ducey. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Carol. How are things?
I'm good. How are you? Feeling the cold?
Feeling very cold, yeah. But yeah, sure, we'll get on with it anyway.
Oh yeah, fitness
Um,
trainers. They just get on with it. You're made of tough stuff. Um, Not like me, not at all. I'm very cold, snowing where I am. But look, we'll carry on. So yeah, I just have a few more questions. These are kind of follow-on questions to the previous webinar. So you might repeat yourself bit more of an in-depth overview into what the course and the program will entail, what they'll be doing. And one of the first questions is, how will the course be broken down? So we do actually have it in some stages. So I think it would probably be a good idea for you to go through those stages, so that it kind of gives people an idea of what they're going to be doing when they begin the course.
Cool. So the course is going to proceed in 4 stages. The first stage is very much about promoting your own brand. For example, your niche area of expertise, whatever that may be. It may be postnatal. It could be female fat loss. It could be bodybuilding. Whatever area you specialize in, that's going to be the first stage we focused on. Stage 2 is where we start to build the course step by step, and we will choose suitable materials and what to prepare to show this course on the market. Stage 3 is building a market and sales strategy. So, for example, we're going to look at how you can carefully planning what should be done day by day, week by week, what your schedule should be, so that after 6 weeks, the program that you've created starts to be in a position to sell itself. And that final stage, stage 4, is selling. So at this point, the students are going to choose how to sell this course through the Profi website, or they can decide to go through their own distribution channels as well. So at that point, it'll be entirely up to the students if they want to partner with Profi Fitness School or if they want to sell the course themselves.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I suppose that gives a good explanation as to why you do need the prior qualifications, because it is all about your niche, what your experience is, and then we're going to be taking that experience that you already have and teaching you how to build that course exactly the same way in which we do. We did get a really good question about that in the last webinar about, why are we telling people to how to build courses when that's what we do. So do make sure that you watch that one as well. We won't go through it again. Um, so yeah, that's great. So then the second question was just how long will the course last?
Yeah, so the course is going to last for 24 weeks. So it's going to be very, very thorough. It's going to be structured with a weekly call to discuss any issues or challenges that might arise from the course that you're not sure on. We're going to check in every week on that. And then at the weekend, there's going to be consultations to supplement the knowledge from any given week. After each weekend, then there's going to be homework for each student to do, so we can help show our students how to construct the course, how to prepare the course, and most importantly, how to sell it. So by the time they finish the 24 weeks, the student's going to know exactly, precisely how they want to sell their own courses, and they're going to be able to prepare like an A to Z of how the course is going to work.
Okay, so 6 months from start to finish, and they can presumably do their own work and continue. And this is just kind of an extra study program that they'll be doing in the evenings or weekends. Is it on their own time they'll do it, or is it a mixture of kind of pre-scheduled meetings, or how's that going to work?
So the meetings will be pre-scheduled, but they'll also be recorded, so it gives the student maximum flexibility. So if they've got their own working job, like they're fitness professionals, so chances are they may have classes or stuff on as well. So it's just to give them that flexibility. If they want to do the course, that they'll have the recordings available as well.
Okay, so 6 months, but fully flexible around your own full-time job, studying whatever you're actually doing on the side, and then you'll have your courses to build literally within 6 months. So halfway through 2023, hopefully they'll be fully qualified and ready to start selling their own courses. Great. Someone just asked, is there an exam that they will have to complete?
So the good news for anyone listening in here is there's no final exam on this. The students are going to receive their certification based on systematic work. So it's their participation in the classes, kind of like continuous assessment, basically, just looking at the work that they've done, making sure they're staying on top of things. And by the end of it, the main incentive is that you have the ability to create your own course, and you'll get the trainer's qualification, which is an international training certificate in the fitness and wellness industry that's much sought after, and it's going to allow you to create your own CPD courses.
Great, thank you. So the next one we have kind of covered this, but I suppose it might be good to go into a bit more detail, because I think I've mentioned, it's for physiotherapists, wellness coaches, lifestyle coaches, nutrition coaches, that sort of thing. So someone said, can anyone take the course? Which we have said, no, not everyone can take the course. But is there anything I'm missing there in terms of health, wellness, any sort of niche area that anyone else could take the course, provided they do have the qualifications and the 2 years experience that we need?
What I would recommend is that if you've got any interest in this whatsoever and you feel like you might be eligible, I would say send us an application, because the application process, you can send in your background, your CV, filling in all the questions, and then we have a look to see what people are suitable for the course. And we take into account a lot of different factors, like their background in the industry, their passion for becoming a tutor, their previous education, and just what their niche areas as well. All of that is looked at. So I would strongly suggest, if you've got interest in doing this, definitely send in an application. We'll oversee it and we'll see if you're suitable. Ideally, what we are looking for is what Carol said at the start of the call: 2 years minimum experience of working as a physio, nutritionist, wellness coach, personal trainer, Pilates instructor, yoga instructor, anything that's really in the fitness industry. But if you feel like you might have something that we haven't mentioned there, I would still recommend applying just to see, and we'll get back to you regardless.
Yeah, so it's a case-by-case basis, really, but anyone who is interested, they're in the fitness, wellness, health area, and they do have a decent level of experience, definitely apply, and we'll have a discussion with you. So we'll be able to advise on what kind of courses they can build from their own experience, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So someone has asked, well, why do you think it is necessary to complete this course to teach others?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So the course was designed because it's very, very important to teach you how to grow your own course, and not only your own course, but also your business, and not to make the kind of basic mistakes that can be made starting off, where you might make money very, very quickly on one course, but then you have no kind of long-term plan to sustain it. And I suppose the benefit, the reason that we give the option of partnering with Profi is because we've been in the market for like over 20 years. We know how difficult it is to reach customers, how difficult it can be to sell and to market your product or your course. And in these really challenging times, the best bargaining chip you can have is knowledge. So the person or student that knows the most, they're in the best position to be successful in the industry. So that's why it's really, really important that you get involved, that you teach and grow the course in business, and it's going to be really, really helpful for you moving forward.
Yeah, and I suppose, I mean, the market is very saturated with, fitness classes for people who want to do fitness classes, go to the gym, for trainers who want to learn how to do spin courses, do different qualifications in fitness. But this is very different in that we are actually going to be teaching you how to build your own course that you'll sell to people. And there's not much like that on the market. So it is quite a unique course in that way. And it's just a different avenue of an income stream. So yeah, definitely a different way, because it's not very common that a fitness instructor or fitness professional or whatever would actually know what the elements are to actually build something like this, because you do need obviously the stringent health and safety, different qualifications, reps accredited, etc. So we'll show you how to do all of that, which, as I said, it's not very common on the market to even try and find anything like that. So thanks for that, Michael. That was the last question I had on that. So yeah, I think we've kind of explained everything. We will do a final webinar probably in January. Just to go into a little bit more detail again. We did have a lot of detail in webinar one, so please do check that out as well. And then I think that gave good detail into how we're breaking down the course and who it's for. So I think we did have a few questions, a lot of emails coming in saying, this is what I do, would I be suitable? So instead of doing the email, your best bet is to fill in that application form, because then we'll have more information about you. There might be someone who's a Pilates instructor who would not be suitable for this, but there might be someone who's a Pilates instructor who would be suitable for this. So please do fill in the application form, and then we'll contact you and just kind of go through a few things. If we need to clarify anything, we can contact you. But definitely filling out the application form is your best bet.